All right. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to lecturers who will be watching our presentation videos. My name is Jonathan Daniel, and today I'll be presenting about the introduction part of our assignment, which is titled "The Impacts of Social Media on Academic Performance." So, in this era of globalization, social media has become an important part of daily life, and especially in private universities, as private universities or universities in general nowadays are well equipped with modern technologies and also need a lot of social as there are a lot of students. Platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and WhatsApp allow students to communicate and share information and support their learning. However, the excessive use of social media can lead to distractions and reduce focus and lower productivity, which may affect the academic performance of each of the students in the university. So, this study aims to investigate how social media usage may influence the student academic outcomes in private universities and universities in general. So now, moving on to the problem statement. All right, now we are moving on to the problem statement. So the problem statement of our PBL or our assignment is that many students spend significant amount of time on social media, which may lead to poor time management, procrastination, and also decreased academic performance. While social media can be used for educational purposes, its excessive and uncontrolled use may negatively impact the student's studies, which is shown a lot of the times, or maybe we can actually already saw it through our surrounding in the universities nowadays. So, while social media can be used for educational purposes, such as maybe gathering information from the internet, or maybe watching educational videos for additional knowledge, its excessive and uncontrolled use, which are, as we already know, nowadays people use a lot of technologies, so they probably use a lot of the social media applications as well throughout the day, uh, may negatively impact students' studies. There is still a lack of unclear understanding of whether social media is more beneficial or harmful to academic performance, which we are trying to understand by doing these PBL, these assignments, and particularly among private universities. Hence, the study seeks to examine the relationship between social media usage and also academic achievement. So we through this assignment, we will try to understand the relationship between the social media usage and academic achievement. Either is it beneficial or is it actually harmful for the student development in universities, particularly. All right, so that's all from me. So we're moving on to objective, which will be presented by our friend Nazim.
Our analysis focused on four core objectives. First, we will evaluate the core debate to determine if social media functions as a detrimental distraction or a manageable habit. Second, we will analyze the correlation between the frequency of social media usage and a student's overall academic performance. Third, we will investigate digital multitasking to measure the measurable impact of using social media simultaneously with academic work. Fourth, we will utilize this data to clearly define waste time, identifying the exact conditions under which social media actively harm productivity. With that being said, we will move on to the next slide.
Through our analysis and discussion, we have found out some negative impacts on the excessive use of social media, such as lower academic performance and weaker class participation, a reduced concentration during studies and lectures, delayed assignment submission and procrastination, with less time available for revision, homework, and rest, and frequent multitasking lowers productivity and memory retention. For frequent multitasking, it refers to when a student uses social media while in class or in lectures, which can lower their productivity and memory retention because their attention are split between two things. With our supporting evidence shows that students with higher social media use often perform worse academically, and constant notifications of social media interrupt focus and learning efficiencies. While for positive impacts, we found out when social media is used correctly, it is useful for group discussions, class communication. It can be a platform for easy sharing of notes, resources, and announcements. It can also be used to access tutorials and educational videos, such as from platforms through YouTube. It can also help students networking and career development through platforms such as LinkedIn, as they can connect with industry professionals that is related to their field of study. It can also support communication with friends and families. Our overall discussion shows that social media is not automatically a waste of time. Instead, it becomes harmful when use is excessive and uncontrolled. With purposeful and balanced use, it can support academic success of a student.
Now let's take a look at the case description. In this case, the subject is a private university student who spend more than 6 hours a day on social media. These students frequently uses platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and WhatsApp. Because of this high usage, we can observe a decline in their academic focus and productivity. They tend to get distracted easily, which affects their ability to concentrate on their studies. To address this issue, an intervention was introduced. These students were given awareness about controlling and balancing their social media usage. As a result, when their usage was properly managed, they showed better concentration and improved academic performance.
To address digital multitasking, we first respectfully evaluate three alternative actions. First, total avoidance. While eliminating social media completely is effective, it is practically unsustainable because students rely on the internet for collaborative coursework and research. Second, time separation, such as the Pomodoro method. This deliberately isolates study blocks from screen time to protect our brains from experiencing cognitive overload. Third, technological regulation. By utilizing websites blockers, students can physically stop the habitual, unconscious scrolling that drains our academic time. While each has merit our recommended action synthesize their strength into a strategic digital integration plan. Instead of unrealistic restriction, this plan relies on three active pillars. First, baseline tracking. Students must audit their screen time to identifying their specific multitasking habits and pinpoint exactly where time is being lost. Second, focus execution. This means mandating single tasking by activating smartphone focus modes. This blocks notifications and remove the immediate trigger for distraction while studying. The deliberate scheduling. Instead of scrolling while walking, social media is scheduled strictly as a control reward only after academic goals are completed.
To conclude our presentation for today, social media clearly has an impact on students' academic performance. While it can be useful, sometimes excessive use often leads to distraction and reduced focus. However, the key point is balance. When students manage their time well and use social media responsibly, it can actually support their learning instead of harming it. So overall, good time management and controlled usage are important for achieving better academic outcomes.